What's up guys, so welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I thought I'd take you through my USDJPY analysis for next week, as I'm seeing a potential very nice opportunity on it, also assisted by the fundamentals that we just had. NFP was today, and we got some very nice data to go off in assisting our analysis on where the US dollar is likely to go next. So if we get straight into it, and I'll take you to the charts now and we'll break it down. So if we get straight into the breakdown, and I'm going to start on the daily time frame as that's where the analysis originated from. So you can see that overall, starting from the bottom, we reacted from this area of demand here. And ever since we reacted from that demand, we've made this very nice push up, breaking past multiple areas of daily structure. This one here being the most significant. So we'll call that our daily change of character, because it was a break of structure in the opposite direction to the trend. We also had this area of supply in here failed because price, as you see, wicked above it. So that was my indication that when we had this pullback here, that was just a retracement for further buys rather than continuation for the sells. Then when price came back to this level, we had this wick got taken out. And then after price took out that wick, it continued its push up. And at the moment on the daily, we have formed these three equal highs, or it's sort of like a trend line, which I'm personally seeing as an area of liquidity. So moving on to the 4 hour, we can see that once this wick here got taken out, we broke 4 hour structure just here. So that is our 4 hour change of character. Price then broke this structure, came back, retested this area of demand in here, broke structure again, came back, retested this level. Then it came up again, broke this structure, and price then came into this sort of inefficient area here, which on the daily time frame, if we have a look, was daily demand, which is why price reacted from that level. And currently, the most recent area of structure that we should focus on is this break right here, which means that the range that we are looking at for the buys is between this low and this high. If price comes lower than here, we would expect that the trend has reversed and it would probably likely continue to the downside. What I also noticed, if we go down to the 1 hour now, price has come back into this area of demand, which it's at the extremum of the current leg. So this being the lowest point of the leg, this being the highest point. Price is in the extremum because this is at the lowest point. Even though this area was already tested by this news candle here, price has come back to it and reacted from it once again. And then after we got the reaction from it, price did this little wick out, and then we've broken past this hourly structure point. Also, if we go to the lower time frames, you can see that we also had supply failed just here as well, but we'll call this the change of character because this is sort of like the major area of structure. And what I can see now is that price has left behind this area of demand right here, which is inefficient. Price has sort of induced it right here, and we formed this sort of mini trend line just above it, which I'm seeing as an area of liquidity for price to come and take out. And overall, this candle here looks very clean. It's a very clean sell to buy candle with all body minimal wicks, which tells me that this area it just looks cleaner for the buys basically. It also, you could say, took out liquidity from the early buyers. And yeah, so what I'll be looking at for going into next week would be a retest of this area. And depending on how price moves at the time, I'll either just set a limit on that area, or I will be looking for a confirmation entry. So something like this, where price makes this initial move up, then moves down once again, takes out the early buyers, breaks this structure level here, and then we can look to get in on a retest of the demand that caused this break. Ideally, anyway, obviously that doesn't always happen, but this would be an ideal situation. And then we can look to buy it. And for this trade, I'd be actually targeting the 4-hour high, so around this area here, basically just following the trend. We know that because price is in an uptrend, it is likely to continue to the upside from this point because it hasn't broken structure yet. Structure has still held. So in my opinion, it will just go to the next 4-hour zone, which is this zone up here, because any area between is simply empty space and imbalance where you wouldn't really expect price to react from. On top of that, where price has come to here isn't really a significant level where I would expect price to completely reverse from. Also, considering that we had all this liquidity up here is another good reason to target this zone. You could also say we may get a little bit of a reaction from this zone, but overall, I wouldn't expect a complete reversal from that level. So we may just get like a pullback for further buys. But overall, that is what I'm looking at for UJ going into this week. If I also take you to the yen index, so this index basically shows the overall strength of the yen. And at the moment, you can see that the yen was very bearish. We had this break of structure here on the 4-hour. Price has now come back to this area of extreme supply, which is at the top of the current range. And and as you can see, price like all day after it reacted from that level has just been melting from it all the way back down to these lows down here. So yeah, the fact that the yen is so bearish at the moment is another confluence for this trade, since we are trading USD JPY. JPY is the quote currency, meaning that if the yen is bearish, USD JPY is bullish, and obviously the opposite if it's the other way around. But yeah, that's just like a little added confluence for this trade. So if we go through it once again, we have prices in a daily and 4-hour level of demand in line with the current bullish trend. We have that area of liquidity resting above. Price has come into the extreme demand of the current range. We then fell to hold supply, also breaking past this structure. We have left trendline liquidity resting above this area of demand, which was inefficient, and also the one where the volume kicked in and caused this area of structure to break. So what we will be waiting for is for price to give us a small retracement back into this level where we can look to buy up to the high, but also monitoring how it reacts at certain areas as well. In particular, I'd want to see how it reacts to this level, since that is an inefficient level of supply, which could potentially, in my opinion, cause a reversal. However, any areas above, like this whole region here, I would just see that as liquidity. So overall, I think we can target this 4-hour high just up here. And yeah, that would be the trade for next week that I'm looking at. Obviously, price may not pull all the way back, but if it does, definitely a clean setup to keep your eye on. And yeah, if you guys found this video useful, make sure to like, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.